But it was a safe, in those days, New York City was safe. It was before drugs. The drugs didn't really hit New York City till the 50s. I mean, there were always drugs, but I mean drugs as a widespread phenomena among teenagers and poor people. Rich people always could afford drugs, but so a lot of my really young years was spent riding the trains with my friends. I played ball. We had a park, a wonderful park on the corner. We played stickball, which to people who don't know it, you use a broomstick. My father being in a business, I had a cue from a pool room. I had a pool cue. So I didn't use a broomstick. I had a really great bat. And we used tennis balls, and you could smack them 200 feet, 250 feet. And so we played stickball in the park, and we did a lot of that. Then later I got into music. I got a clarinet and a saxophone. And when I was in high school, they gave me a bassoon. Just imagine, a $1,500 bassoon in those days. And I was able to take it home. They don't do that today, I imagine. So I became an important part of the orchestra because they didn't have many people who did that. And those are the things I really enjoyed going to high school. I had a lot of jobs. Starting at 13, I delivered groceries in a grocery store when I was 13. Then for a year or so I worked in an A&P. Then I worked as an usher. That was a lot of fun too. I always had jobs all through high school.
Did everybody have a job your age?
There were a lot of people. A lot of us had jobs. In those days, teenagers had.
How much money could you make?
I think I earned 25 cents an hour, which was a lot because in the 40s, in the 1930s during the Depression, grown men would work for 25 cents an hour. So when things got better during the war and then after the war, children were happy to work for 25 cents an hour because adults were now earning maybe 75 cents an hour or so.
So you had a number of jobs growing up.
I had a number of jobs.
By the time you were 17, you were in
Yeah,
school.
and then when I started playing in bands and so on. And then when I got to college, I started Brooklyn College. I had a job working for a guy who owned 7 stores. Various kinds of dry goods, and my job was to drive. You could get a license starting at 17, so I would drive between all these stores, and he would save money by not using trucking. This was a very clever guy. He would buy a boxcar full of nylon stockings, or a boxcar full of towels, or a boxcar full of something, and then I would distribute it among us. I would drive all over Brooklyn. There were 7 stores, and I would drop them off. So he not only bought stuff cheaply, but he saved the cost of transportation. And I got to learn a lot of people, learned a lot about how business. So while I was in college, I had a good experience. But Brooklyn College really opened up my life.